Okay, so yeah, no names, no faces. But yeah, you got to figure out, is this about, can you change the world or whatever that Nicki Minaj? But on certain levels, Nicki Minaj can be a role model. It's like Lady Gaga could be a role model, just like RuPaul could be a role model.
Yeah, so
it depends where you coming from.
What they're doing good, you know.
Yeah, it comes. To me, it comes. It talks about where you coming from, as a wherever, as a person. And this world, this section of the world we in now is this part of history is different. You gotta look at it a certain way.
Yes, it kept growing, evolving towards what we're in now. Because, like I said before, what Luke and them was doing back then, now is commonplace.
It's that wild.
And now it's not the men using them as backup dancers. The quote unquote.
It's that no, but listen, it's that wild that we grew up in a day and age when I was telling a little homie today. I was like, listen, you know Snoop Dogg, but I was part of the generation that discovered him. Right. I listened to Snoop Dogg when he had short hair when he first came out on Deep Cover. You know, like I was. He was on he was Snoop Doggy Dogg, right? He Snoop Doggy Dogg when he was Snoop Doggy Dogg. Like I knew Snoop then. So don't ask me about Snoop fan. Like my generation has no choice but to be a Snoop fan because he took over that hardcore then 20, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, when you get to that point of stuff and seeing stuff a certain way, it's like, okay.
Right. So I'm like, yeah, she's a role model because she actually does some good once they got their money. People was talking about that with the Kardashians, whether it's another, pull for more publicity.
And you can look at them, because like to a certain degree, I fuck with Kim Kardashian. I see what she doing. I wouldn't fuck her. I wouldn't do business with her and shit. But you can't knock her hustle. You can't, and I fuck with her. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, she's a role model.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends how you look at people.
On the planet,
you can say
her being a role model because Lawrence Fishburne's daughter, Dakota.
Yep.
Made the porn and said that the reason she did that because she saw how quickly Kim Kardashian's career rose from it. I'm like, daddy is Lawrence Fishburne.
Well, listen, it's shit like that makes me say I sincerely believe that it's bullshit in the game. And that shit is set up because that's a prime example. Why didn't Lawrence Fishburne's daughter career take off? But to be fair, she was she ain't the prettiest bitch in the world.
Nobody cares when her clothes are off now. But not just that, they said she's already getting to a lot of little stupid stuff. A lot of rich kids probably get into as far as drunk driving and this and that, and it was just repeated. And he was like, he's gonna cut her off until she got her act together. Oh, okay. I got you. It's just happening in public. That's nothing new.
Right. This ain't nothing new. You remember we went to school with a Motown Legends grandchild who got pregnant off of Bill Rebellion, so we know about the shit going on with the Stars kids. First name basis. We ain't gonna say no names, but we know this shit happens.
But Lawrence Fishburne's daughter is like, well, I'll make it like this. Like, no, it's not. There's a couple of people they tried doing. What's the old girl? She got cut. They was like, Family Matters. Jamie Foxworthy. She got cut. She ran up the steps and she went to some type of portal like on The Simpsons because you never saw her again.
Ever.
Right. She ran upstairs.
She said that was a case of bad negotiating. Her people asked for more money and they said fuck you and fired her.
Right. It was in the process of becoming the Steve Urkel show.
Listen, the same shit happened. Listen, that happens. The same shit happened, and this bitch said she helped make the show. I remember saying in an interview where she said she helped make the show. The same shit happened to Paula Abdul, my nigga. And she said
American Idol?
and she said she found that at a bar. And you can Google that shit. I swear to God, because I'm a Paula Abdul fan. So if she
Ryan Seacrest produced it. He's paying him some money. And did they
no, he started producing it after a while. So he probably had something to do with the decision. But he started producing after a while. Can you remember at first it was two hosts? He somehow got the other guy fired. Yeah, you remember? So he had his claws into the games from the beginning. It was another guy up there with black hair. They both was hosting.
Right.
It was kind of awkward because it was like, what are they both doing here?
Like, he came some with a co-host. But that's the way it goes. And now he on what was it? Kelly and Ryan on ABC. They done move American Idol to ABC.
So is it like the new Regis of Kathy Lee?
Yeah. Cause first Kathy Lee left and they replaced her with Kelly. Then Regis Philbin died. So then
He did.
I know for a while it was Michael Strahan.
Regis. When did Regis die?
Probably about.
I'm about to Google this shit. I'm about to Google this shit because I think you motherfucking lying. And if you lying, we about to have a fist fight.
Remember Michael Strahan was on there?
I remember Michael Strahan was on here, but Regis ain't no motherfucking dead. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, he left it alone. And
I remember he retired, but I don't mean he did. Illis, you can't say people.
No, he died. He's freaking gone. Him, Larry King, because Larry King.
I know Larry King, Dad. Don't bring up Larry King. Larry King was my high school.
Betty White, they was gonna outlive time.
Larry King was actually a watcher. Him and Stan Lee and Bruce Lee. They actually ate from this planet Prince. It's a whole bunch of them. David Bowie. They came here on a ship together.
Was still getting chicks pregnant.
That's what you got to understand. That's what you better know. Oh, yep, he died July 24, 2022. Why do y'all tell me Regis?
Well, the talking box did, but
Regis Philbin. I used to love Regis. Bless his heart.
Oh yeah, they went for a while. Regis and Kathy.
You know who else that? You know who else that? Do you fuck with a guy named Leslie Jordan?
No.
Oh my God! You know this guy. It's a white guy. He talked like a little Southern lady. He used to be on a lot of shit. He was known for. He won his award for Will and Grace. He was the. If you ever watched Will and Grace, he was the guy always going against Karen. I forgot his name. He was like Karen's frenemy. But
I thought he was the third wheel. Not third wheel, but the other dude, not Will and Grace, but
not Jack.
Yeah, I told you about him dying. I didn't know his name.
No, hold on. I'm about to look him up too, cause you lying. I'm about to look that up, cause now you making up shit. Cause I can't believe the guy from Will and Grace died. He did not die. He didn't die. His name's Sean Hayes. I'm looking him up right now, nigga. The nigga alive. Don't be you just cursing people. Now you just cursing people.
Well, okay, it was the wrong kid. Like I said, I didn't know his name, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. The one that played the third. I guess he was the third star.
Had me scared. You had me scared, Ilias.
Oh well, it's better. Well, it's not him.
Somebody. No. You know, listen. You know what I think it was? I think you heard the newscast and you got it confused, and they was actually talking about Leslie Jordan. He played Beverly Leslie.
Okay.
He was the guy always beefing with Karen. I'm about to try to push a button real quick and have and tape a little bit and give a little shout out to Leslie Jordan. He
wanted to create your own internet radio station.
This shit right here, this YouTube shit, you can't even.
King, it's never been easier. You probably recognize Leslie Jordan for his
watch.
role on Will and Grace.
Karen Walker. I thought I smelled gin and regret.
But before he became famous for that, he spent years toiling in thankless bit parts in commercials, failed TV pilots, and low-budget films.
Yes, he used to be shit left and right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know him when you see his face. You gonna know this man. He always talk like a Southern lady. I ain't gonna play the whole interview. That's they shit. I don't take nobody's story. But no, yeah, you would hear and be like, this nigga, he used to play on so much shit, and they say he just. I'm gonna say he died I think he was high though, but I'm gonna say he just died and he crashed his car into a side of a house.
Right.
So I think he died like.
Well, I was surprised when I heard that. I'm like, dang, this is right after what happened with Ann H. I'm like,
Who was Ed H?
the one that you said, Ellen's over back in the day.
Listen, when they said she died, I looked that shit up. She went crazy. She
Yeah, that's the thing, but then they said they found, I think it was cocaine.
they said she relapsed like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and they was like, she crashed through the house, and now the woman's house, she crashed through suing the estate because she got PTSD. I'm like, well, I guess if a car ran through your house, and you get up like that too. Damage the house,
Damn.
fire damage, but yeah, it happens. Like we are every year, celebrities they connect a lot of people. Like people you don't know all watch this at a certain time. It's like one after another after another. I'm like, jeez, Betty White caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah, she did, because she was just days before 100.
Right.
We was all like Betty White.
She go across the mark and then going. Yeah. But I mean, I know they did a skit before. Well, I don't remember what it was. I know Regina King was one of the 4 black women, and they like redid a skit of Golden Girls. Which of course gets everybody thinking, oh, what if they do another version of that?
They did. They did. It was called Living Single.
No. That's the Black Friends. But
No. Low key, Living Single is the black designing women. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Every time I saw that show back in the day, was that WXOE and TV20? I'm like,
that was the channel. You didn't like designing women?
Nah.
The Studebakers?
No, with the one black slave. Anyway.
You know what? That's your daddy talking. That's what that is.
No, but it was weird.
It was. But I used to like I lived in a house full of women, so I used to watch that show with Charlene and Suzanne and. What was the oldest sister name? It was the oldest sister.
That'd be like Dear John and.
Dear John was good with the group therapy.
Yeah. With Judd Hirsch.
With the guy who was in the group therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what show I used to watch too?
Herman's Head and what else? Fox. But I always wondered, like, why don't y'all redo some of that stuff?
Man.
Because of course, what's name is still in the game, obviously.
Everybody.
Great. But I'm like, Hank Azaria played on there.
And Lisa.
What we did?
I said, and wasn't that Yeardley Smith?
Yep. All of them. I'm like,
she was Sensitivity.
How is it that they didn't? Cause I thought it was a good idea.
She was Sensitivity. Yep. No. She worked in the office with Herman. Hank Azaria was like Lust.
Oh yeah, that was her. It was one with longer hair. That was Sensitivity.
Yeah, it was her and the black guy that worked in the office with Herman. It was Sensitivity, Lust. I think Sloth, like it was like his slob side, and it was his smart side.
It was the fat dude who ended up dying on Armageddon. I think he might have been a Herman, not hers there, but Parker Lewis can't lose too. I'm not sure. No, that was somebody else. Kubiak Eat now.
Yeah, the guy who played Kubiak played on ER for a second. I forgot his name.
Okay, now we're going through 90s. Get Life.
My So-Called Life. Just the 10 of us, nigga.
You know they're about to remake.
What?
What's the name? What's the show with?
Phenom. Do you remember Phenom?
No.
Savannah.
No. I'm still trying to think of this damn show. Oh, The Wonder Years. They're about to remake.
Oh, that's already been remade. It's Black Kids.
Okay, yeah, alright. That's the usual go now.
And Fred Savage directed.
Oh, well, that explains a lot.
He directs a few. No, matter of fact,
That's
listen.
Like when,
No, stop. Let me stop lying to you. Fred Savage directed a couple episodes. Is mainly directed by Robert Townsend.
Oh, okay.
He's the main director of that show. Yeah, that's how it's going. And I ain't watched it yet. You know I'm a Robert Townsend fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I ain't heard that name in a while. Like, where's his work at?
What do you mean?
I'm saying as long as I'm handing him work as far as...
he ain't working there like you think he should, but he still works. Let me see his resume, because he just did a few movies. He always direct now. He don't really star in movies. He just did a 5 Heartbeats documentary like last year or the year before last, and he about to do. They say he about to bring 5 Heartbeats to Broadway.
Yeah, that makes sense. You prepping up to kick your idea for the whole Meteor Man thing again, huh?
I still want to kick it with him about that. Yes, and don't say too much because somebody may take it from us.
That's why I said that.
Listen. I still want to kick it with him. Once I get in the room with Mr. Townsend, I feel like it's gonna be a different energy. But listen, let me tell you what he did. He's on the Wonder Years. He did a show called American Soul 2 years ago. He did Black Lightning.
Oh, I know he was. Yeah,
yes.
I used to watch that.
He did 5 Heartbeats, like I just told you. He did a documentary for Bill Cosby. I'm going back to 2012. He did a voice on Scooby Doo. So yeah, he worked. He just ain't doing it like he was doing when he was kids.
I have not watched either one of those movies.
What?
Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I ain't watched Scooby Doo since I was a kid.
Wait, this is a remake?
No, this was a cartoon. It's called Scooby Doo Music of the Vampire. I remember that one.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm still stuck on what's that. I haven't watched it yet, but why they turned the Addams Family into an animated movie?
It's two of them.
I'm stuck on.
No, you late. You still late. You still late.
No, I mean why?
I said you still late.
I just want to know why. Because I know people that went to see it, and I'm like,
well, no, I went to go see it. I went to go see part 1. I didn't see part 2. Because Snoop Dogg played Cousin It.
You're right.
It was funny too, because it sounded like Snoop, but they slurred up his voice. So it's still, you know, how it used to be like beep, 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 beep. But it was like Snoop Dogg, so it was like shizzle, sizzle, fizzle, sizzle, fizzle, fizzle.
Oh,
it was weird, but it was cool. But no, but that's late. That was last year, nigga. They just did a show on Netflix called Wednesday. That's the new Addams Family.
Yeah, no, I heard about that. And I think Christina Ricci's playing the mom.
No, Captain Zeta-Jones playing Morticia.
Okay.
Christina Ricci plays the bad guy.
Okay.
But they said I was reading something about their experiment with the idea of you doing something of a Addams Family jumping through portals. They may bring like a variant, bring her Wednesday alive, and they meet each other. So that's the idea. But yeah, she was the villain in this movie. It was good. It wasn't a movie. It was a show. It was Wednesday got powers now, and she had to go to the weird high school that her parents went to, and she started figuring out this mystery through her powers that happened with her ancestors and it happened with her parents. And it's a deep little story. It's cool. It's still Addams Family, and she be up there with Thing, so Thing be there the whole time.
You saying it's cool, and I'm like, so it's not a comedy anymore, like
it sort of is.
Yeah, I know who he says sort of is. It's like Bel Air, which I love that new show. But
no, I'm saying like, cause she stayed with the wolf bitch. The wolf bitch tried to live her life as a wolf, but she in love with a what's it called? A Gorgon. She in love with a Gorgon, so he tried to live his life without turning people to stone. And they going through their shit. Uncle Fester came on there. They Latino. Because Luis Guzman plays Gomez. In which, when I say Luis Guzman, and I fucks with Luis Guzman, I love him, don't get me wrong. And I consider him to be a black...
Yeah, so do you think there's inspiration for that was what Raul Julia did?
Totally. That's what it was. But at the same time, they said the Addams Family took off really big in Latin America. He said he was hip too. I remember seeing an interview with him on Arsenio Hall when he was said they used to watch it when he was a kid. He said they used to call it the late Cookie Adams. The El Cookie Adams when he was a kid. So he said they used to watch it. So it got really big. Right. So it has Latin roots. So everybody in the family is Latin on this one, okay? And but when I saw Luis Guzman, I instantly thought like they should have called John Leguizamo. I think he would have played the perfect Gomez. He's the Gomez we need, not the Gomez we want. Because Luis Guzman did his thing. They didn't give him a lot of lines and shit because on this movie he got arrested. He really did. Because they were still blaming him for the crime, so he really didn't get a lot of lines in this movie. So he didn't really get to turn into Gomez. Right. You know, sword fighting and talking shit. It was another Gomez in the movie who was younger Gomez, but he was fighting and shit. But it really didn't go. It was really Wednesday's story. They didn't go into even Morticia didn't go as hard, but it was still Catherine Zeta-Jones, so she had a presence. Right. But it was all right.
Say to the listeners, go watch Addams Family Values.
If you're gonna go that far, go watch the original movie. Values was funny though.
I remember when they went to camp. That was hilarious.
No shit.
All your life.
No. My part was, listen. You turned Fester against his family. You alienated him. You changed his life. You poisoned him. That I could forgive. But Pastel. This was Morticia, like bitch. Like Morticia was always left field with her shit.
Baby, like what's wrong with his face? He was smiling.
He said he has my father's eyes. Gomez, take those out of his mouth. Like what?
Right. That's all I'm like. I mean, they do that with a lot of movies. That they did it with the Coneheads back then. They were basically making movies out of shows out of the 80s and before then.
Coneheads deserved a movie. That movie was so slept on. That was the shit though. Coneheads should be playing right now. Dan Aykroyd is like a blessing we didn't know we had. Like Dan Aykroyd is so. His concepts for shit and how he think, I be seeing him on interviews. I be like, Dan Aykroyd is not from Earth. So for him to come up with Ghostbusters,
right? Which I guess,
but Coneheads, I think was what that was his SNL idea that he spun off.
Right. Well, yeah, they did that with a couple of them here and there. I don't know if you ever watched A Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah, that wasn't the best.
No, it wasn't.
I would say the best, in my opinion. Don't get us wrong. But,
we didn't just went Siskel and Ebert on them, but yeah,
no, I was about to go there and say, give us Wayne's World. We fuck with Wayne's World heavy. Wayne's World Part 2, especially. Part 2 was the best one.
Yeah, because they just did a third Bill and Ted after how many years?
And they dropped the ball in the ground. Keanu Reeves, I hope he don't drop the ball with the next John Wick, but Keanu Reeves dropped it with I love Keanu.
Yeah.
Like I loved him since Parenthood. I mean, what's it called? Not Parenthood, but the movie where it was him and Steve Martin and I forgot her name. It was a whole bunch of people. I think it was called Parenthood, but he was dating it ain't Anne Rice, but it's the woman. Or was it Diane West? She played Lost Boys. He was dating her daughter.
Right.
And Joaquin Phoenix played her son, who was like his girlfriend's little brother on the movie. This is how old the movie was. I've been watching Keanu Reeves since then, so I fuck with Keanu Reeves. But he dropped the ball with Matrix. He know it. He know he got a computer. He read the internet and shit. He know he ain't just oblivious. He just acts stupid. He acts stupid. He know what the fuck he doing.
Movies like that that were made that long ago. Of course, there were fans for the movie back then, but you got a whole new generation. They'd be looking at it like, okay, why this? Why that? Why should I like this movie? So you got to think about fans from back being that childlike.
Well, that's the power of the movie, making new fans. So it's about the kids, their perception of if they're gonna watch it. Same thing with us. It was about them getting us. You know what I'm saying? But they dropped them.
Like, what's the name? When did? Ace Ventura came out in '93.
I heard he tried to. I heard he tried to go forward with part 4. I read that somewhere that he's trying to. But
part 3?
No, it's part 4. Part 3 already came out. He said he retiring though. So
Jim Carrey.
Yes, he said he retired after the next Sonic. So hopefully he just talking shit. I seen the actual interview where he said this is his last shit. He gave his all. He contributed his part. He did a little speech. He said he retired. So, but I read that was in the air, and
he's become more introspective on film, doing interviews and stuff. So, I can see that, but again, maybe it is because some people want to retire.
Yeah, you can, but I can also see Ace Ventura. I seen somebody do it, but they didn't give him the green light. But I could see another Ernest movie. Somebody did a thing when they did Son of Ernest. Like,
Ernest goes to a homeless shelter.
The one I said it was called Son of. Somebody did a little skit called Son of Ernest. Somebody else did this. It was a joke, but I said I would totally watch it. Son of Crocodile Dundee. I could see that being remade. So it's a few movies I can see being put into the bush. You see what I'm saying?
Like, I watched a couple of episodes when it became a TV series for Damon Wayans called Day of Lethal Weapon.
They retired that shit after Damon Wayans quit. He didn't like the guy.
Yeah, because first dude that played Briggs, they drunk racist rants on set. They were like, you gotta go. And then they brought in Sean William Scott.
And they said he didn't make the bill.
Damon Wayans saying he was wanting to go because it's not fun for me anymore. And he was talking about he want to get back on the road doing stand up or whatever. So, you can't keep replacing, actors like this is not Power Rangers. 1993, and they kept swapping in more, actors. R.I.P. Jason David Frank. But I'm like, they just kept swapping them in and out so much that it's almost 30 years now. Next year will be 30 years since Power Rangers started, and they keep swapping on. I'm like, that doesn't work for everything. That's where when you said Ace Ventura, I'm like, okay, who else got that type of energy? Because they talked about that when Robin Williams died. They was about who else had that. They was like, and the first thing that came to mind, everybody was saying, was Jim Carrey. Just that off the cuff type of. I know he's like what, Will Ferrell possibly.
Will Ferrell old too.
Yeah, I know, but who you gonna get to play Ace Ventura? Son?
I don't know. On part 3, he had a son. On part 3, he had a son. So you could bring in somebody.
Yeah, but I found one thing interesting about Jim Carrey movies. A lot of them are one and done.
A lot of them he had 10 like that. It's about the studios trying to make money still. So since they went forward,
I was like, somebody trying to replace it because that was Seth Green in Son of the Mask, and I'm like,
a lot of times these projects be the studio trying to make money, but at the
I know. Trust me. After Independence Day, it became blockbusters hit when it came out in '96. Vivica Fox was already on Horner Brothers. Like, yeah, they're talking about a sequel.
I'm sorry.
The sequel came out in 30 years later. No, 20.
I still ain't seen the sequel.
What?
Yeah,
Independence Day.
I don't want to start trashing it, but I will.
But you know what sequel I seen, and they made it weird.
The one with his son.
Part 3 of Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah.
They made it that there's time travel, and that's what made it weird. To me.
No, it's not. It's like a multiverse. Well, that's what my issue with any movie deal. Time travel, anything like that. Like, we can do whatever we want as long as we got this little break in case of writer's block emergency. Oh, we can go.
That's exactly what it was. Because it was like, where did this come from? Because they made it like they end up going in the basement and end up appearing there with the people
Right.
from part 1. From like 20 years ago. So it was like, okay, what? And I end up Googling it like, hold on, what happened? And it said it was time travel. He jumped into a time portal. And that's how the witch was still alive, and that's why they thought she was doing shit, because it was a time portal. It explained the shit. I was like, it was crazy. Like, who came up with this?
Let me tell you this about Independence Day insurrection, whatever it was called. Brent Spiner's on there again.
Who?
Brent Spiner, aka Data.
You told me that. You was like, you said you didn't like that because he died.
Yeah, when he had the alien had his neck wrapped up, was speaking through him. They shot the alien, and dude ran over and knew it was there. He checked his pulse and everything. I'm like, and they just what? They said nothing about why he's still alive. Like, and we want him back. Dr. Oaken. I'm like, okay.
That's not the only time I've seen that happen.
We bring him back because we want him back.